Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be coaching Diana. I think they said their peak was diamond. They were currently in like gold or so here. So I'm just going to be going through a lot of things with them, Hope you guys enjoy the video. It does cut out around 6 minutes into the game. It cuts out for like a minute. So I lost that little bit of recording, but apart from that, everything's here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in coaching, just DM me on Discord. The link is in the description to my Discord or Twitter or wherever you want to DM me. So yep, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you later.
But since I know Luden's ankle, like towards the end of the game, is not that good anymore. So I sub it out for the Lich Bane.
Oh, so you sub it out at the end of the game. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But I don't understand why we're going Nashor's Tooth plus Luden's, like both.
Oh, okay. Yes. So the reason why I do it is because I don't know. I feel more, I guess, safe when I'm attacking faster.
Okay, so the value in in Nashor's Tooth is attack speed, right? So first of all, if we're going attack speed, we would get more value from going Conquer as a rune because you're auto attacking a lot. So it's fine to go Nashor's Tooth into comps that are easy to auto attack into. So the choice is not Luden's. You don't go Luden's and Nashor's, you go one or the other, because if you go both, you're losing out on too much magic penetration plus overall damage, because by this time you would either want to have death cap, like by 3 items you would want to have your first item of Luden's or Nashor's or Rod of Ages, and then after that you need death cap at some point because the damage is so high, and then you want magic penetration if they're very tanky, but you would want Void Staff for a lot of magic penetration, or you would want Infinity Orb for less magic penetration but a ton of burst damage. And the only time that you want Nashor's is when it's really easy to auto attack, and usually when you want to auto attack a lot is into tanks. So into tanks, Nashor's first is a good item, but if you're into squishies, Luden's is going to be way more burst damage, and using Nashor's is useless because if you're one-shotting squishies, then you're not getting any value from the extra attack speed anyways.
Ah, gotcha.
So I would just honestly go in your build right now, and then I would change, like, instead of having Nashor's in there at all, I would put Riftmaker where that is. For me, I like going Riftmaker third or second, and then I go Deathcap third, but you can go Deathcap second, that's fine too. Riftmaker's, yeah, bottom right. And then, so you have 3 choices between starting items, which are Rod of Ages, Nashor's Tooth, and Luden's. So you go Luden's when you want to one-shot people, when there's a lot of squishies. You go Nashor's Tooth if there's a lot of like tanks and champs that you're going to auto-attack a lot. And then you go Rod of Ages if you don't want to get bursted down yourself and you want to scale, because Rod of Ages gives you HP, and it allows you to survive into, like, say you're into a Zed and normally Zed's one-shot you or whatever. If you're going Rod of Ages, you're going to be a lot tankier and you don't have to worry about getting one-shot so much. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you either go Luden's Echo or Rod of Ages first?
Yeah, I mean, you can go Nashor's, but I honestly don't. I only go Nashor's on Diana jungle. I never go it on mid, but if you want to go it in mid, you can, just only into tanks, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's mostly it for the build. Apart from that, it's fine. So for me, I don't really like going, if I'm going 4th item magic penetration, by that time I would want percentage-based magic penetration, so I would go Void Staff instead of Infinity Orb. But like, that's more of a choice. It's fine if you want to go Infinity Orb 4th. But for me, I would be going Void Staff 4th, and then I would go like Lich Bane 5th. Or I would go like Reflector, Crystalline Reflector or something if I need armor or something like that instead. And obviously anytime you need anti-heal, then you have to find a place for Morellos in that build, but...
Okay, so I'm sorry. So in what order were you put it? I'm sorry.
So the order you have is correct, except I wouldn't even build Infinity Orb. So there's a lot of like situational ways to build this champ. So you can build Infinity Orb in some games, and that's why I could make 2 builds for you if that's easier. Like that might be like a simpler...
Infinity Orb is more for like squishy champions, right?
So when you're going Infinity Orb, you would want to also be building Luden's, because your goal is one-shot squishies. So you would have Luden's first, you would probably be going Deathcap second, and then Infinity Orb third in that case. So maybe we just make 2 builds. We'll make a burst build and then like a sustain build, so that we can just, it's easier for you to understand it. I don't have to, because it's kind of confusing right now, like how I'm talking about.
Okay, let me just reset this whole thing then, so we can start from scratch.
No, keep it like this right now. This is gonna be one of your builds. So the way it currently is, the only thing you change, you can move Infinity Orb out to like a further thing, because you can still keep it in the like the back or whatever. But then I would put here, I would put Lich Bane, Crystalline Reflector, and Banshee's Veil. and then you're going to be
Lich-
choosing between those and Morellos, all 4 of those, and then I'll tell you when to build them after. Yeah, crystalline's right, bottom right. Yeah.
And what you said?
Yeah, just go down a little bit, and it's the bottom, like the crystalline reflector, and then Banshee's Veil.
Yeah, I use these items like in game when I feel like I'm like if the team is behind. I start building that, depending if it's like AD or AP.
Yeah, and then scroll up, but there's one more item now. I forget what I was. What was it? Morellos? Yeah, because obviously you're always gonna want Morellos if like you need anti-healing, but you just
Yeah,
know
yeah.
like that you only build the anti-healing component of the item and then you finish it later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now I'll talk about. So this build right here is into more like either if you're into a lot of assassins or if you're into tankier comps, you can go this build. And then first 4 items are basically always going to be what you have right now. With I go Riftmaker second and then Deathcap third, but that's up to you. Like you can do whatever you prefer. And then for the 5th item is the only thing we're really changing. So it's Lichbane is just when you want more damage. Crystalline Reflector is when they have a lot of attack damage and you want the armor. Banshee's Veil is the opposite where you want the magic resistance. And then obviously Morello's is for anti-healing. So does all that make sense?
Yes, and then you said Nash's Truth if their team is tanky.
I mean, I would never go Nashor's Tooth, but if you like it, then yes, into tanks you can go it if you prefer that. And that's fine if you prefer it. You don't have to only build it the exact way I do. If you want to go it into tanks, that's gonna be fine for you.
Nah, I'll listen to you, bro. You're the coach, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm the coach, but like there are people who build differently than me and who are better than me. Like it's not the building is not always just purely like only one person's. There's not a right or wrong answer for everything. But yeah, this build is typically going to be better, and then we can make one more build after, and then I'll tell you what to do for that for like a burst damage build.
I guess I'll choose to another one of these, right?
Yeah. Also for this build, I would probably go Conquer, by the way, instead of First Strike, and I would go First Strike in the one-shot build. But that's up to you. Like if you like First Strike, you can always go it. But First Strike is not going to be good into range champs in lane because they're going to get the first attack on you most of the time too. So.
What about everything else? Would that be fine?
Only thing you would change in this build. Well, actually, no. I would be going Domination Tree. Yeah. So you shouldn't be going this tree. You should go go to the
home plating.
The red runes. No. Yeah. Switch like the rune tree you have. Switch it to Domination. And go Sudden Impact, Mark of the Week, and then the Zombie Ward for the 3rd. And then now the only thing we're changing in this build is when we are into when we're not worried about dying or like dying to CC or anything, you're gonna switch Perseverance to Gathering Storm probably. But if they have a lot of CC, then you can just keep Perseverance. It's not in this rune tree. It's in a different rune tree. It's in Precision.
Okay. Well, where you go, you say? Perseverance.
Okay, and so far this is all recorded, so even if I don't make it a YouTube video, I can like send this part to you so that you can look it back over. But yeah, so this is gonna be your typical build for like a more sustain into assassins and tanks, and then now yeah, well you can make another build, and then I'll tell you the kind of assassin-y build. It's just pure burst damage. And if you always like to play this way, you can. You start with Ludens, which is correct. I would go Deathcap, then Infinity Orb, and also you should always be building your mana boots second because like they're really good on this champ. So like that, yeah. And then so yeah, you go Deathcap, then you would go Infinity Orb 3rd, Void Staff 4th like it is, and then I'd probably be going either Lichbane. There's like a lot of things. I mean, you could go Lichbane, you can go Riftmaker, you go Morellos, you go Banshee's Veil, you go Crystalline. Like all of those items are fine. So I would put Crystalline in as well, and then yeah, you have that. And then Morellos, what else is there? So yeah, pretty much this. And you remember the situational times I said, you know, Morellos for anti-heal, Crystalline into a lot of AD, Banshee's Veil do a lot of AP, all that. So yeah, so now your builds, they're pretty good. Obviously, you're also going to build Stasis at some point. But yeah, so now we can go and do a replay of Diana if you want to.
I'm sorry, I'm not really aware of the names yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is the runes okay?
Oh yeah, for runes, okay, so electrocute is what you go if you are not confident in getting first strike proc. But if you think that it's really easy to get first, like, you know how first strike works or no?
First strike? No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so the way first strike works, you have to attack someone before they attack you, and if you attack them before they attack you, then you will deal bonus damage for the next 3 seconds, and you get gold based on how much damage you did. So basically, if I'm Ari and I auto attack you, you will not get anything out of first strike. It will be 1000% useless. So you always have to make sure when you have first strike that you are hitting someone first, which your first ability is very good for that because it's long range. So you have to make sure nobody hits you, and then you're able to hit them, and it'll make you do way more damage, which is why you only go first strike into champions who you are confident don't outrange you, because if they outrange you, they'll hit you first.
I got you.
Yeah, and then electrocute, you just go whenever first strike is not going to be useful.
Okay.
And then switch the rune. The runes are the same as the other ones, so switch this to perseverance, the bottom one, which is in the resolve tree. Yeah, it's not in there, it's in resolve. The runes are kind of confusing now, they changed them, so it's a lot more to keep track of. But okay, so I think we got everything. Any questions about the build, or?
No.
Okay. I mean, if you have questions, by the way, like, that's what I'm here for, so never, you know, feel free to ask at any time.
Okay. But the only thing is just, like, I don't really know much of the words for it. So
like the item names?
Yeah, I can make just kind of slow on that part.
Sure. So, I mean, I'll have again the video so you can, like, watch back the stuff. Cool. But also, yeah, if you have questions, I mean, you can DM me at any point. Like, I don't, even after we're done coaching, you can DM me if you have a question about that type of stuff. But you'll kind of just learn as you play as well. So we'll want to choose a loss, and also like a decent like length game. Like the 5 and 7 and 6 or 5, 7, 9 one's probably fine. I don't know if you have a better one that you'd want to go over, but otherwise that one's fine.
I mean, I don't know how to choose. Like,
it should be fine. I mean, we should be able to learn from any. So just choose. You can go back up. You can choose one of the first two. Either the 7 and 10 one or the 5 and 7 one are both fine. I don't know if you remember what happened in these games. It might be helpful, but otherwise you can look at the matchups. Just click on the 3 lines on the right side on the game. Okay, so here you're into Jace, and then go to the other one now. Because when you play, what do you typically do bad into? Like, what are your issues that you think you have?
When I'm winning, I don't know how to carry the game.
You don't know how to carry the game. Okay, so what about like your lane phase? Do you feel like you do well lane?
Yeah, you want to see this one is against a Corki.
Yeah, we can watch this one. That's fine.
Okay.
So you feel like converting your leads is the issue. So I'm gonna look through your lane phase first because that's obviously what happens, and then I'll tell you like. Because if your lane phase is bad, there's no reason to work on anything else because it's the start of the game. And if you start the game off poorly, there's no reason to even, like, you know, get better at the rest until you get better at this part. So we'll look at that first.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm doing good, but I would really like somebody to tell me, boy, you're not really doing good what you're doing. So, yeah. So I can learn, you know what I mean?
No, I'm sure there's mistakes, but I'll go through every part of the game. This is a 24-minute game, which is super long. So there's going to be a lot to go through of every point of the game. So we'll start off with lane phase. First of all, with wave management and your goal as your laner, Diana wants level 3 because that's where all of her damage comes from in lane. So your goal is to, into range matchups, if they're not on the wave right away, you instantly push the wave. Which, do you know what I mean when I say push the wave? Like, you just want to kill it as fast as possible?
Everything. Yeah.
Because once you kill every minion, you get level 2. So if you're level 2 and he's level 1, you instantly win because you use your first ability and then you use your third ability to dash onto him. And then he just dies, basically. He doesn't die, but you win the trade really hard. So what you did here, you got distracted and you're not playing for level 2. And now he's level 2 first. Since he's level 2 first, he can continue to have pressure on the wave. But if you were hitting the wave that whole time, you would just be level 2 and you would already win the trade there because you'd be able to use your abilities. But now, going on to this Lee Sin's like fine, but look how much you're giving up. Like, you should be leaving by this point. Also, you combo badly there. So your first ability, if you hit your first ability on someone, it applies Moonlight, and then if you use your third ability, it'll reset your third ability. So you can dash multiple times if you hit your first ability first. Did you know that or no?
Yeah.
Okay, because you just did it backwards there. So just make sure that you're doing your first ability, then your third ability, so that you hit the reset. But you see how when you left lane here, he's able to just get a lot of value. He's able to poke you out, and now you're really low. It's because after you like wasted too much time onto the Lee Sin there. So, and at this point, your goal should be to get the wave under the tower and then leave, because you should be using your abilities on the wave. Yep, just like you are. Perfect. And then you should be backing right after this. Which you do, so that's good. And now you see him rotating. Okay, so yeah, the main thing so far is to keep track of level 2. Like, just playing for that early on in the lane is going to let you get a lot of like cheese kills, and it feels really nice. Like a lot of, like they're not aware of it, and really high elos even a lot of the time, so. Also, can you pause for 1 second?
Top turret is under attack.
So in the top right, click the 3 little bars, like the
Top right.
and then Fog of War, click the blue vision thing. There we go. Now I see what you would have seen in the game, so I know on like I'm not seeing extra stuff on your map.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can start again.
Okay. My bad. I've never done this before.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't really do it until I started coaching people. I didn't know how to do this stuff until then either. And so at this point you have level 5 basically. And so you have kind of 2 decisions. If you think you can kill someone with level 5, then you all in them. If you don't think you can kill them, then your other goal is to shove the lane and roam. In this situation, Corki has barrier, he has ways to escape, so in my opinion, I would be roaming here. So what you should do is you push the wave and then you roam. Like, so you should just be hitting this wave really fast, roaming as fast as possible, and then you could go up top right now.
I noticed, and then I started doing that.
Yeah. So basically, did you just flash or was that an E?
Yeah, I flashed because my buttons. After this, I have to set my buttons apart because I got big fingers, so I was messing with my button layout, and right there I was like, "Fuck!" I was trying to press my third ability, and I had my third ability next to my flash, and I messed it up.
Yeah. No, it was just funny. It happens.
I wasn't trying to do that on purpose.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, main thing here is then you're wasting too much time on your roam. So you roamed, which is good. You roamed a little late, but you eventually roamed. Now there's a kill opportunity. So it ends up showing up. But typically when you're roaming, you don't want to be roaming for so long. You want to roam until the next mid wave comes. And again, we kind of didn't reset our E properly. So you see how you didn't have your dash, so it was harder to kill him there. But
yeah, I missed them on my first ability.
Yeah, it's good. So the main thing with roaming is you have to think about like your roam is going to get you possibly a kill, which isn't worth it if you're losing minions in mid, because the minions are basically like going to be a kill's worth of gold. So you want to be roaming when there's no minions there, meaning that if you push the minion wave as soon as it comes, you have more time to roam. But once that minion wave comes back, you don't want to continue wasting time like you did there, because a good mid laner would have shoved that wave and you would have lost all of it. But because your enemy is bad, it ends up staying there and it's fine. So you just need to be quicker on the roams, and you need to like go back when the mid wave is coming and everything.
Okay.
Okay, so our next goal here, an objective is spawning really soon. We should always be aware about 30 seconds before an objective spawns, and our goal when an objective is going to spawn is shove the wave before it comes. So what you should have done is you should be mid lane and you should be clearing this wave really fast, because what that does is they'll be distracted by Dragon or Herald, so that they will then lose your minions to the tower, because they will be distracted and they won't go for the minions, you know what I mean? So. And then here you're obviously you shouldn't go in by yourself. Like, you should wait for your team and pay attention to where your jungler is and then help them on wherever they go. So your jungler was going Herald here, so you should be helping at Herald rather than trying to solo on Dragon like you did.
Yeah, I think we lose Herald.
Yeah. So if you just helped him on Herald, you would just be trading Herald for Dragon, which is fine. it's fine to trade objectives at this point in the game and just take one. You don't have to try to greed and take both.
The Rift Herald.
And then yeah, at the end of this, I'm gonna make notes and I'm just gonna talk about the most important things in those notes. So like, I'm telling you everything pretty much that I see wrong right now, but I'll go through the most important things to like actually improve on, because you're not gonna improve on every single part of your gameplay at once. I'm just getting all this information out there so you're at least aware of it, and then I'll go through the more specific things that I actually want you to work on like after. Okay, so yeah, I might have missed a few like minutes of it, but we'll have most of the recording probably, unless it fucks up again. So my bad if it does, but yeah. So you can start it. You're good. So yeah, I mean, the main things to learn from the part if that is missed in the recording is just early on in the game, play for level 2 by hitting the wave if you can, like if they're allowing you to. And then also play on other power spikes like level 5. When you're roaming, make sure you push the wave before you roam. And then before an objective spawns, about 30 seconds to 15 seconds before it spawns, make sure you push your mid wave so that you're able to help your jungler, and just help your jungler on whatever objective. Don't like force an objective that your jungler is not going towards.
Like, I remember this game, nobody on my team got anti-heal.
Yeah, for Aatrox and Yuumi, I mean, you guys should have like 3 people with anti-heal probably. I mean, I think you should get it.
I was telling them too, but I guess, I don't know, maybe because I'm low elo, they're like, who's this guy telling me?
Yeah. I mean, they a lot of times won't build it, and you're just gonna have to deal with people kind of being pretty bad. It is what it is. As long as you're doing it, I mean, it's fine, because that means if you're carrying the game, you're gonna have anti-heal applied on everyone who you need to kill anyway, so.
Top turret is under attack. Enemy turret.
Yeah, there, I mean, you died, but not a ton to go over there. It's just kind of like mechanics and stuff with your champ. The main thing is that sometimes you're not resetting your third ability properly, but apart from that, you'll get used to the mechanics the more you play the champion. And so here your whole team's going mid, so you should actually just go top. So like, you can see on the map there's a top wave, and instead of sending 4 people to mid lane when your whole team's going there, it's a lot more effective to just go towards top and then clear up there. So you're allowed to leave lane if your teammates cover your lane, and it's okay to like go clear other parts of the map and everything.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It depends on like how dangerous it is though. So for example, the current wave in topside is pretty safe because it's more towards your side of the map. If that wave was like all the way up towards their turret, it would be dangerous because it'd be way closer to them. So I'm not saying that you want to do it all the time, just when it's like a safe wave to catch, you can get some free gold from that.
Yeah.
That ult was crazy.
I'm telling you, my buttons were too close to each other.
Yeah.
That's how I flashed on accident, and I
Yeah.
ulted twice, 3 times on accident in this game.
So did you move them like after this? Or?
Yeah, because I was messing with them before
Okay.
I started a couple of games, and I was like, no, I gotta change it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I've changed my buttons a couple times. It's super weird to get used to. I don't know why though you're not going to drag right now. Like, you're going for mid, but the dragon's spawning. Like, when dragon's up, that's why you want to clear the wave before, because once dragon's up, your goal should just be killing dragon pretty much, if you can.
I was just afraid of this Yuumi.
Yeah, you can kill her once your E comes up. If your third ability comes up, then you would be able to kill them both, but yeah, if you were on that objective right away, I mean, it would have been a lot more useful. Obviously, if you had ult as well, that's just unfortunate, but yeah, Lee Sin is like behind you guys somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's coming right now. Yeah, there he goes.
Oh shit.
I'm dead.
Okay, that was kind of a jump scare. That's kind of unfortunate. Like, no real way to know that Tristan is coming.
Turret lost.
But yeah, I mean, like, your teammates are really bad, and they're gonna be bad every game you play, so I'm just like, I wouldn't expect anything from them, pretty much, unless they start popping off or something, but
Nah, this
it's
team will does alright, but there's still no, like, he's very squishy.
yeah.
and then we're going against Apex, and then Yumi.
Yeah, Yumi is really annoying.
Yep.
Yeah, Teemo's not very smart, but it is what it is. At this point, I don't know why you're not mid as well. You should go on your character. Click on your character. Yeah.
Not bad. I posted
No,
that.
you're good. But yeah, I don't know why you weren't going mid right away.
You see,
And
I
then
didn't
it
want to
seems
ult
you keep
everything.
messing up your ult, which
Yeah.
again, you'll get used to that. So there's not much to say, but it is
Nah,
what
I
it
didn't
is.
have that problem no more. I changed it.
Yeah. So it's all good.
Go far away.
But yeah, like protecting your mid tower is extremely important. So anytime that there's a mid wave like from the enemy going close to your tower, you're 95% of the time gonna want to be protecting that. So like you weren't very aware of it, but your goal should be at this point in the game just push the wave whenever you can, and then roam or do other stuff after. Like instead of being like I want to go somewhere, I'm just gonna go there. You usually have to be aware of the wave and then do that. The only exception is like if your team is currently fighting right now and you need to get there super quickly, then you can ignore the mid wave, but that's really it. You could have dashed onto him again. Yeah, okay, you dashed now. You don't do much damage though, so. And I think that's partially your build. I don't know exactly what your Luden's first, and then I don't know what your second item is, but where's your champ? Luden's death cap. Okay, I mean, I guess you're just not that strong, so.
Attack. Shut down.
You're not weak in this game though, but. Yeah, you see how your mid wave is dying though? Like, that's what I mean. You weren't where you fought and you didn't worry about mid, and you see how much you lose in mid. You lost 2 towers and like half of your third. You lost 3 towers. So yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have even lost 1 tower probably, but because we're kind of focusing on fighting and then we're going to our mid tower or mid, that's kind of the issue. I don't know what Shyvana's doing. She's just going for the red buff, okay? Crazy invade. Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, that was weird. Okay, I like that you take this. That's good. If your jungler just died and they're clearly not very smart, it's good to take it for sure.
Enemy is unstoppable.
Oh. If you hit Q, you could maybe go in, but yeah, since you missed Q, you can't go in. Yeah, it should be a kill, I think. Yeah, okay, perfect. You played that well. Very good. Oh, also random thing, but I would recommend muting your chat in games because it's kind of useless. Like, the people in the CLO are gonna blame you for a lot of dumb things, and they're gonna say a lot of dumb stuff, and it's almost never useful. So, and they're not gonna listen when you tell them to do stuff like buy anti-heal or whatever. But, and so yeah, the only thing here is you could have dropped a ward on Baron because obviously they were on it, and like when your jungler dies, you should always expect them to go force any objective that's up.
I think a lot at this point, I was just like frustrated with the judge.
Yeah, but like look at the gold. You're actually winning in gold, and so like you're frustrated, but the game's actually pretty close. So even though it's annoying and your team is kind of being weird, it's 100% winnable.
Like the whole time, I didn't even want to fight no more because of that Yumi. I was so I guess traumatized.
Enemy
I mean, you can 100% kill someone with a Yumi on them. Like, even if Yumi is on Tristana right now, you probably would kill them in a lot of situations. Okay, that's crazy damage from Aatrox. But you Trace, that's not too bad.
an enemy. Turret lost.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
can
was
try
like-
to use your third ability, like, you kind of spammed it. If you use it to try to dodge his first ability, like, do you know what his first ability is? Like,
When he smashes his hand
Yeah.
with his sword.
like, he smashes 3 times. So, like, his first smash is, like, it has a longer range, and, like, the damage is on the outs, like, if it hits you on the edge of it. And then the next one's a bit of a shorter range. It also damages you if it hits the edge. And then the last one is where it's, like, right next to him is where it does all the damage, like, in a big circle, so. But yeah, if you're trying to dodge those, like, the best thing would be to wait till you see the animation coming and then use your dash, right, like, to go behind him, because then it won't hit you, so. And then you probably would kill him there.
Ally slain.
At this point, though, Tristana Yumi is pretty hard to beat when they're fed. Are you AFK? Were you mad, or are you just, like...
Nah, I was looking at builds.
Oh, okay, okay.
Nah, I don't never do that. I just always fight it out to the end, no matter
Yeah, that's
what.
good. Unless the game is like 0 to 40, usually not a reason to FF.
Like there you go. I did.
Yeah, bro. These ults would be very helpful, but you know, playing Diana without ultimate is a pretty cool challenge. I might have to try it. I mean, I don't think there's much to learn anymore. Like, if you want to just skip through, we could probably just go to the next game. I don't, unless you feel like there's still more to learn, it's up to you. Like, if you feel like there's more, but to me, it's kind of just not much is gonna happen.
Like,
But yeah, you want to do Ari now, or do you want to do more Diana? It's up to you. Or you want to do Kale? I mean, whatever is up to you.
we can do another R. No, I don't really have.
Okay.
It's just I just really wait for like at the late game, and I just pretty much carry.
Yeah, I mean, Kale is a bad champ, but early, like lower elos, it's not as bad.
Which one do we watch? Which we can watch this one.
Yep.
Welcome to Wild Rift. Minions have spawned.
So this matchup's pretty hard. Like Jace will probably beat you early. So you're mainly just farming up, and like walking here doesn't really. I don't know why you walked here. Like there's no real reason. You know, like why you? Or just
Yeah, I
cause?
just seen them all grouped in there, so I was like, I just felt like I needed to go help.
Well, you can do that, but you're going to die if you do that. So you should take a different path, like just going around, like.
Why do people move like that?
What do you
See
mean?
how he moves? Like, he just gonna start. He starts going side to side. Is
I
it
think
because I'm trying
because there's some top players who do it just cause. So I think he's just trying to emulate. He's a starting fan or a Mali fan or something. Those are like pros. I don't know. There's no real reason to do it. But yeah, it's fine to give up a little bit of CS here. You just queue the wave and you don't really trade much here. Like level 3 is the first time that you should really trade. Because I mean you end up, that was a good trade by you, but typically for me I just prefer doing that once my shield's up as well. And then just using my Qs to farm until then. So once I'm level 3, that's when onto Jace I'm going to start Q, or do you know what I said when I say QWE or no?
Yeah, you're talking about the first, second, third ability.
Yeah, okay. So like I would do Q and then I would E onto him, but I would make sure my Q hits a minion so that I can E back to the minion and reset it, and I would W when I'm like Q'd onto or E'd onto him or whatever. So
you'll wait to third level, the third level to
trade with Jace, yeah, because Jace is a really good laner. So Jace is like my main mid lane champ. It's like usually the one that I play. He's insane in lane.
Top turret is under attack.
At this point, I don't really think you can help. Like I think it's just gonna be a losing fight, but maybe you can actually. Yeah, I mean, I'd assume you just die, which yeah, now you lose flash. So the reason that that's a losing fight is because Lilia, Diana are not good late game, or not good early game. Like they're more late game champs. Usually AP champs are not going to be super strong early, and then you're into Jace Pantheon, who are two of the best early game champs in the game, and you're trying to contest them 2v2 early on in the game. So the issue there, the mistake is your jungler should never be contesting like that. But since he does, you kind of just have to be able to give it up and just allow him to die, or like, you know, it's just his fault. There's not much you can do about that.
Top turret is under attack. Bottom turret is under attack.
Oh yeah, do the vision thing again, by the way. Like the top right. I forgot because I can see with. Yeah. There we go. So into Jace, it's kind of the same as well, where our goal is to shove the lane and roam. Now, it's hard because Jace has pressure in the lane, so you can't really do that currently, but your goal should just be clearing the wave. So like you are right now, just queuing it, and then I would just queue again once my Q comes up.
Yeah, because I know I can't really trade him and like melee close to him.
Like what you did there looked cool, but it didn't actually do anything because you dealt no damage. You just dashed onto a minion. You only really want to do that trade with the dashing if your dash actually hits him, but here you should be able to kill. Why are you... Yeah, okay. Oh, I don't know why you waited so long to use your third ability, unless maybe it was on cooldown, but...
I couldn't reach. Like,
oh, really? I thought that was in range. Maybe not, though.
I remember I kept smashing it and it didn't get until I got a little bit closer.
Gotcha. So yeah, next goal here now, we just got kill. We just go back to mid, we shove the mid, and then we roam. Because again, we don't want to trade with Jace. It's just not going to work very well. Unless you see an all-in opportunity, which you usually won't unless your jungler's nearby. Also, don't use your third ability twice like that, because now it's on cooldown. Like, when you pop the Moonlight, which, like, gives you the reset, that's good, but doing it a second time means now you don't have your dash for anything else, so... You only want to do that, like, what you want to do, you use your dash, like, you use your first ability, then you dash onto them, and you get the reset, so that means if they run away, you can dash onto them again, but you don't just dash when you're already really close to them, because it doesn't do anything, because it does very little damage. So it's not actually very useful for damage, unless, like, they're really, really low.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
And also, if you are going to use it like that, you want to make sure you auto people first, because the other value is like your passive, which I'm not sure if you, maybe you know it or maybe don't, but like anytime you use an ability, your next three, like you get attack speed for like the duration of 3 auto attacks, basically.
The only ability I know is that if I use my first ability and I flash on them, it's like on a real low cooldown.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you use any ability, I don't know if it's your ult, but every other ability, after using it, you get attack speed for a short period of time. So like, if you're clearing anything like that, then yeah, you use abilities. So you don't use every ability at once if you're like just clearing like a Baron, for example, because you'll do more damage if you just Q, you auto, then you E, auto, W, and that's gonna make your damage higher. But obviously, sometimes you need to use your full combo right away if you're trying to just burst someone down. But if you know that like you're not worried about that, that's when you're going to utilize that passive. And again, you should be clearing mid. You see how you're roaming, but you're not clearing mid. You're going to lose like your entire turret if Jace is smart. Now Jace is dumb and follows you, but if Jace was smart and just took tower, Jace kills towers insanely fast. So you would lose 2 to 3 plates, and you would lose over a kill's worth of gold just from that alone, which wouldn't even be worth even if you did get a kill.
And that my team was still falling.
That was fine though. I mean, like, that play was overall fine. I mean, it was probably too risky because there were 4 people, but like, I don't hate that you're doing that. Perfectly fine.
At that point, I thought Lux and Twitch was still on me.
Yeah. Holy Q. This chase damage. And so yeah, the fact that you're going Nashor's as well here, which I already talked to you about builds, but you're going Nashor's Tooth, and you see how you're never auto-attacking these people a lot because they're all like squishy and you're all just trying to burst them? Like, you're not getting any value from the attack speed because you're never auto-attacking when you're on top of people anyway. Or you're only doing like 1 auto-attack.
Gotcha.
And once again, we are roaming without pushing mid-wave, so cool, you get this kill. That's nice. But what does Jace get in return? If he's smart, he takes 2 turret plates. If he's dumb, he doesn't. But how much? 2 turret plates is 300 gold. And how much gold you get from a kill is 300. So the value is actually like basically 0 from doing that because I'm pretty sure he did get it. Yeah, I mean, you get the kill, so like it does work out, but it just needs to be a habit in general. Like, even if it works out in this situation, it ended up being good. In the long run, doing these plays consistently won't lead to better results than just making the consistent play. I honestly don't think you needed to flash that, by the way. Like, I think you could have survived, but better safe
Yeah,
than sorry.
There goes my mid.
Yeah. So once again, I mean, this time this roam's kind of fine because your mid turret's already so low and you just lost flash and you'd like maybe be worried about dying there, but again, yeah, like pushing mid just in general, more valuable than just roaming just cause. The other thing about roaming is you typically want to do it with your jungler. So if you notice your jungler going for a gank, it severely increases the likelihood of it working out. So once you get better, it's a little harder to do, but paying attention to where your jungler is clearing, and then when they're clearing towards a lane, that's when you start shoving your lanes. So for example, if your jungler was on the blue buff, and you know that he doesn't have other camps up, you're going to expect him to go for a gank next most likely. So you start shoving your lane preemptively then, so that if he ganks top lane, you're there as well to help out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So clear my wave and follow my jungle?
Yeah, when you expect your jungler to make a move or something, yeah. Or if you see your jungler already making a move, then yes.
Slain an enemy. Double kill. You have been slain. Enemy slain.
So at this point, dragon spawning. So now that you've lost your mid turret already, if the wave is in a neutral state, you can go for the fight first. Since there's a fight at dragon, you don't have to clear your mid right away because you're not actually protecting much, unless they really decided to push all the way down there, which is just unlikely. So it's fine here to just go straight to mid, or rather straight to dragon. There's no reason to clear this, like when the dragon's up. You should just be helping your team. Like, it's fine that you do this, but you want to be doing this earlier, and if you don't have the, like, if you're not going to lose a turret from that, you don't need to even clear it. You just should be going for the fight. I like the angle you're on, though. Looking for the flank is not bad. But you're going in without your team here. So, like, you're just too impatient. The flank is correct, but you went in before your team went in. You don't have to be the initial engage. You can wait for your team to go in, and then you can follow up. Like, as an assassin, you just need to be pretty patient. You're typically not going to be the one engaging. I know as Diana, it's really tempting to just ult 4 people, but you don't actually get that much value if you're not really fed from ulting 4 people if your team's not in a good position to follow up or anything like that. So, and you're going to get one shot because you're actually pretty squishy, especially because you're not going Rod of Ages or Riftmaker or anything, so you're especially squishy because of that. Okay, that you shouldn't do because your teammate's going to AFK at some point. At some point, if you do that, one of your annoying teammates, I promise you, will AFK. Like, they shouldn't, but they will. So, if your jungler's already on it, just don't take it. But it's kind of funny.
Oh, shit. That shit's too OP.
What's too OP?
Oh, the way he shoots his fucking thing.
Jace? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody is good at Jace anyway, so you'll never have to play against a good Jace. It's fine.
Oh, she must know that.
I don't know why Jace is barrier though, it's really weird. Like, you should be taking Ignite. I guess he's scared. If he was scared of you one-shotting him, he should be exhaust. Like, I don't know why he's...
Twitch on the other side of the map.
I mean, that's not the best, but also you guys were losing every fight anyway, so I think it's fine for Twitch to be split pushing. Just focus on clearing waves, and that's pretty much it. But at this point of the game is kind of over as well. To be honest, there's probably not much more.
I'm dead here.
I mean, it's up to you, but I don't feel like there's much we can learn anymore. So maybe we either just like want to look at, if you want to look at a quick laning phase, or you want to go over notes first of like a game, or of the games, to kind of talk about what could be done differently.
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, I'm gonna share my screen then, and then I'm just gonna have notes pulled up.
Alright.
Okay.
On my screen recording.
See my screen?
Yes.
Alright. So, are the notes visible to you? Are they fine to see? If I type? Or are they too small?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so I'll title it what Diana. Then just to start, the first thing is we'll just go from like level 1, so early on. Kill first wave fast. And I'm just gonna type it, like tell me if you want me to type it or word it differently. Fast for level 2. Then trade level advantage. Typically wait till level 3 to trade though. Like remember, like level 3 is your best time for trading. And again, I'm not going to type like 100 different things, because the rest is like, the rest of the stuff I said is just stuff that you can think about, and if you're thinking about it, it's good. But right now what you need to improve is not improve on 40 different things. I'm just going to tell you the most important things to improve on. So in your lane phase, if you like, you don't always do this, because if you're pushing the wave level 1, but then the enemy starts contesting you and wins the trade really hard, then you're going to die, because like if you're only focusing on the wave and then they hit you. So Jace you can't do this into, because Jace wins it. But if you win the trades early, like if you just know the champion doesn't have enough damage to kill you or anything, if it's like, I don't know, a Veigar, you know, someone who's bad early game, that's when you play for the level 2. But if they're like good early game, then you let the wave come into you and you only use your first ability to farm it, and then you just wait till level 3 and then you trade onto level 3. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I think what I struggle the most is like when to roam, and like if I'm the one like scaling, like how do I say this? If I'm the one that's like super fat, I don't know how to carry the game either.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. And first we'll talk about roaming, then we'll talk about what to do when you're ahead. So when to roam. After lane is pushed. So does this format make sense where I say when to roam and I have a dash and I type like when good times are to roam, or do you want me to type it differently?
No, I understand what
Okay,
you're
so
saying.
after lane is pushed is one time to roam. When else you want to roam? Roam with jungle. So if you can, when you see your jungler going for a gank, that's when you want to roam. Other things to look for. I can't type. On roams. If enemy wave is closer to your tower, to your teammate's tower, because we're talking about your teammate's lane, it is better to roam. The reason is because if they're close, if your teammate's wave is like small, and then the enemy has a pretty big wave, you know what I mean when I say wave, right? Like minions, and
Yeah,
those minions are pushed pretty far up. That means that soon they're going to go under the tower, and so it means that the enemy is going to want to push up to kill your minions, because otherwise your minions will die to their minions and they'll lose all the gold. So in that situation, you know they're going to go forward for the minions. When you know they're going to go forward for the minions, you know they're going to be overextended, and that's when you have a good opportunity to gank or to go look for a possible roam. So if you early on see that enemy has a big wave and your teammate has a small wave, even if it's close to the enemy tower, you know that soon it's going to be close to your tower because the enemy has more minions. So that means that you can start shoving your lane, and then you can expect soon there will be a gank opportunity. Does that make sense?
So like,
I can explain by like sharing my screen and going in a game, like if that's easier. I don't know.
yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, I don't mind booking another hour if you have more time.
I'm not gonna do a full hour, but and you don't need to like pay extra. I'm just gonna show you a few things. If it goes slightly over an hour, I don't care, but we don't need to do a full another hour. If you want to in the future, I would say at first you should work on the stuff I tell you now, and then we can do another hour once you feel like you've improved on the notes that I have, because otherwise it's kind of not going to give much value. It'll just be wasting your time, like spending too much time. So I'm just opening up my game so that I can show you. So it'll just be a second. I'm just gonna go into practice tool to try to explain it better. So you see my game right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It might be kind of hard to get a proper wave, but we'll see if I can. Otherwise, I'll just go into a replay of mine and then show it. But
Usually, when I try to roam, is like when I see a canyon wave.
yeah,
It depends. Like if I know I can beat the champion, I let it sit there for a while. I guess you can say like
yeah,
chill
because the
it
cannon
off.
wave is bigger, so there's gonna be more time to fight on the cannon wave. So it makes sense that you want to fight on that. So I'm gonna wait for the minions to come, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. But I'm gonna show you the opposite. I'm gonna make myself invincible so that I don't die. Okay, so basically, pretend I'm the enemy here. I've currently hit the wave twice. I'm gonna kill this guy so that he's not a problem. Okay, so I've hit the wave. You see how this wave is lower? So because this wave is lower, all of my minions will kill their minions. Meaning, if they don't come right now to kill my minions, they lose everything, which is bad for them. So they're going to want, like this guy, to come kill it right away. So I can know that they will come to kill it, meaning I expect soon there will be a potential to fight in the lane, so I will gank for that reason. And then I will fight them.
But how did you get the wave to come more further down?
What do you mean? Like the wave to come here?
Like so what you were trying to show me is that when the minions were there, there was 4 minions in total, right? Well,
Yep.
8 if the other persons, and they came down lower, so they were getting hit, or is it because?
It's because of the health of the minions. So look here, I auto attack this minion a lot, but I don't kill it. So that means that soon, since these minions are lower health, they will die first. Does that make sense? Like, they'll die first because they're lower health and there's less of them.
Okay.
You understand? Or if I'm not explaining well, I continue to ask questions so I can try to explain it better. But
Yeah, I'm still kind of confused on the wave thing, like on the minions.
yeah, so basically, the simple thing is, the minions, like the enemy wants to kill the minions, right? So like that's very obvious, but right, like they want to kill the minions to get gold, right?
Yeah.
So if they want to kill the minions, if the minions are going to die soon, they're going to go forward to kill them. You know they're going to go forward because otherwise those minions will be dead and then they won't get any value, right? They'll just lose the gold. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, that's when you poke them, right?
Yeah, but the way you can tell, I gotta kill this guy again so he gets out of my way, but the way that you can tell that they're going to go soon is based on the health and the amount of minions. So right now you see my minions are lower health, right? You can tell that right now my minions, they're lower health.
Yes.
So because they're lower health, I know they're going to die soon. And because the minions are going to die soon, the enemy's going to want to go for them before they die. So since they're going to die very soon, I know they're going to come forward here. I could predict that every single player in the entire game would currently walk right here, just because the minion is low. And like, this is obviously a bot, but any player would do this. They would walk right here. So I can 100% predict that the person's going to be there. So even earlier on in the game, just if they have more minions right now, like for example, they have 3, I only have 2. I know they're going to go forward because my minions otherwise would kill their minions there. So since I know that very soon they're going to go forward, I know there's a possibility to gank them soon. And this is like true in any lane, top lane, bot lane, anywhere.
Okay.
You understand now or no?
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying now.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to show you with like the waves. So again, I'm gonna make this a YouTube video. I've recorded. There's like that small couple minutes that's not recorded. Everything else is recorded. So and yeah, I'll upload it to YouTube tomorrow, so you'll be able to watch it then. But other things to look for on roams: enemy waves closer to your teammate's tower. It's better to roam, which is what we just talked about, or like health as well. All those types of things. And then, so the last thing apart from roaming and from early trading by trading with level advantages and learning which levels to trade on, is you wanted to know how to carry when you have the lead and no one else is strong, right?
Yeah.
So what do you feel like usually goes wrong in those games? Like what happens? Do you like throw one team fight and die? Do your teammates die when you're not there? What usually happens?
I feel like if I go all in, I'm gonna die.
If you're gonna go, yeah, you are, because you're Diana, you're an assassin. And so it's the same thing in that earlier team fight that we talked about. You know, when you went in on 4 people and you didn't wait for your team to engage, it's the same thing there, but it's even more imperative that you allow your teammates to engage first. If you need to think of your teammates when you're super fed as very dispensable, and when you are very bad, like very weak, like when you have very few gold and your teammates are carrying, you think of yourself as dispensable. So your teammate may die right away by being an idiot and running forward, but if Pantheon uses his stun on your teammate and Renekton uses his stun on your teammate, that's your window to go in. So you need to think in those games where your teammates are very weak and very bad, you don't care what your teammates do, but you're going to use your teammates' mistakes as a leverage to get a good opportunity to go in. So you do need knowledge. I know you don't know how every champion works perfectly yet, but you need knowledge of the key abilities of champions, and when those are down, you go in. So again, anytime the enemy tank uses their like hook or their CC, or Renekton uses a stun or anything like that, if you see your teammates die from that, you have that window to go in because they're going to be focused on your teammates. So when your teammate's getting focused, that's when you're going in, basically.
Okay.
Is there other things apart from like, so that's how the fighting goes, where you're probably being impatient based on their previous games, and you're probably trying to engage, but is there other things in terms of like, are your teammates dying on sides when you think they shouldn't, or like, yeah, is there anything else that goes wrong in those games you feel, or?
No, I just feel like I feel like I know how to win my lane.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not a ranged champion, but usually it is. Like I know how to get the wave towards and my advantage, so like it's near to my turret.
Yeah.
I guess one of my just main concerns is like when to roam. Like I know I don't have to push the wave, but sometimes when ranged champions, it's kind of hard to push the whole wave in.
Yeah, so the reason that assassins are typically weak early game and range champs are good early game is because they have range advantage, which allows them to get what we call lane priority, and lane priority just means that, as I was showing you with the minion wave earlier, they have the minion wave pushing. So if you are pushing the wave under their tower, you can then roam, right? But it's the same for them. And so you just have to understand, sometimes you can't roam. So if the wave is pushing under your tower and you're getting pressured under your tower, you have to worry about your wave and yourself and surviving, not about roaming. So in these early matchups, these range matchups where you're weak or whatever, you just have to wait until you get, again, what you're doing in these matchups, you're letting the wave come into you, like you said. Level 3 is when you can trade with these people because you have your full combo. You have your thing that can proc electrocute, or if you proc first strike, if you're going first strike. But I would just say it's simpler to go electrocute, so just go electrocute unless you're going the Conqueror build. But Conqueror electrocute doesn't matter. Wait till you're level 3, then do the trade where you Q and you make sure your Q hits a minion and a person. So then you use your E, you use auto attack W, you use all your stuff on them, and then you E back to the minion and you get a quick trade with them. And then you wait for your electrocute to come up again, or your abilities to come up again, you do that again. And once you do that, by the time you're around level 5, the lane shifts in your favor, because as an assassin, the later the game goes, the better you're able to one-shot the squishy. So you just have to give up the early pressure in lane and just play for your level advantages, reaching those power spikes of level 3 and level 5. And then once you end up winning 1 or 2 of those trades, if you have the health advantage, then you're gonna roam. After you get that positive trade and they decide to back off, that's when you start pushing the lane, and then once the lane pushes, then you can roam. Does that make sense, or is that still like too much at one time?
No, I see what you mean.
Okay.
Another thing is like we're in a group fight and we're engaging. To be honest, like I went to like some of the enemy champions are like halfway dead, and then I engage, but I feel like that still doesn't work for me.
No,
So do
that's
you?
your job. You're an assassin. You are supposed to kill, like, assassinate people. So you want them to be in execute range, basically. So if they're 50% health, that's good because you can one-shot them now. So, like, are you
But
saying that's an issue for you? Like, you don't want?
yeah, it seems that I still fail when I do that. I
I
don't know
mean,
what
there's
I'm
a
doing.
number of reasons. One, your build is bad. Like I was saying, the Nashor's Tooth build is way less burst damage, so you're gonna notice. You're gonna get Luden's Echo Death Cap, or you're gonna get Luden's Echo Death Cap Infinity Orb, and you're gonna just notice you're doing way more damage than when you had Nashor's Tooth, because you're not even playing the Nashor's Tooth properly, because you're not auto attacking. So you'll get more damage just straight up from that build. But apart from that, the only reason that you're not one-shotting a squishy, or you're not one-shotting someone, is because you're going on the wrong people. Like a half health Dion, you're never gonna kill, or you're probably not gonna kill. But you're gonna kill a half health Tristana every time, as long as you're just hitting all your abilities. So are you like going on tanks or something, or what do you think?
No, I know not to go on tanks. I know I would never kill them.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Oh, another thing. When you one shot, do you consider one shot including the ult or without
Including
ult?
everything, yeah. I say one shot loosely. You could one shot them after 3 seconds. I don't literally mean one shot. I just mean you kill them really quick. So.
No, but like do you think I have to use ult afterwards, or like can I use my first 3 abilities and auto attack to kill them?
To kill who?
Or let's just say Tristana.
Well, you're gonna want to try to use your full combo on them typically, yeah. So you typically want to Q first, right? The combo is you Q someone, then, I mean, I'll just show you. It's easier anyways. So you see my screen again? Just gonna switch to Diana. Where's Diana?
You just passed her up.
I did, okay.
Yeah. There she goes.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go and do a bot now. Then I'll show you what it looks like. So very simply, fucking the dummy. Kill this thing. This thing's annoying me. Whatever. Okay, so basically, you're gonna use your first ability on someone. You're gonna dash, auto, alt, W, and then when they run away, you E again, because your alt does the same thing as your first ability. Did you know that? That your alt also gives you the reset?
Yes.
Okay, so basically the best combo is, yeah, again, you're gonna Q, E, then you want to auto. Make sure you're autoing in between abilities, and then you can use your W whenever, like just at some point on top of them, and then you auto, and then you're gonna alt, and now you're gonna E onto them again, probably to follow, and just keep autoing at that point until your abilities come back up. Does that make sense?
I could do it one more time.
Sure. Do you want me to do it fast or slow?
Slow.
Okay, so Q, E, auto, W, and then I would ult, but my ult's on cooldown because I forgot to do that. But I would ult when I'm on top of them.
Alright, so ult at the end.
Well, it depends on the situation. If you're going into 3 people, you want to ult as fast as possible. Like if say there's 3 dummies, if there's like a ton of dummies here, well then I'm just trying to get ult off as soon as possible, because now I'm applying Moonlight to 3 people, and then I can dash onto this guy, I can dash onto this guy, like, you know, I keep resetting it, right? So
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, if you're one-shotting a squishy, then yes, your ult is more damage, so it's more like, yeah, you burst them, then you ult. But if you're going on someone, if you're going on to a lot of people, you should activate W before you even go in. So you should Q and W, and then you do this. So you can even always W, actually. Like, I'm kind of wrong about the combo. So like, you always W before you can go in, typically. They'll get more damage faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So again, like, I have these notes. I don't think that I want every single small thing to be a note. I have the YouTube video. I'll make the YouTube video. It'll be uploaded tomorrow morning, I think. All these things are like the important things to work on. The rest, the build is explained in the video, so if you are confused about the build still. and then everything else will be gone over. Is there anything else that you want like written down or that you're still confused about?
Is there any champion you recommend me using, or
I
should
mean,
I just?
Diana, Ari are great starter champions. Like, Ari is one of the best champs for new people to play, 100%, or like lower elo. You're not new, but you're lower-ish.
Yeah.
Diana is one of the easier assassins, so if you like assassins, Diana or Fizz are like the easy ones. Most of the other ones are really difficult. Diana is like on the mid-tier side in terms of difficulty, but she's definitely on the easier side for assassins, but she is still hard. So I think those champs are fine. I recommend, unless you really like Kale, I don't recommend playing him, but yeah.
I have the best win rate with Kill, to be honest.
Okay, so the way I approach my champion pool is whatever I win on the most, I play. So if you win a lot on kill, play it. That's fine. And then when it stops working for you, start working with other stuff. So if you win a lot on kill, keep playing it. That's perfectly fine. I've got no issue with you playing kill.
No, I think my problem is that if I don't have a front in my team like a tank, I don't really play her because it's like I feel like it's harder to play when you, Kale when you don't have a tank. So like if I see everybody's using like a ranged champion, I just go with Ari.
No, yeah, that's fine. I mean, champion pool, like you're going to have champs that are bad with other champs, so not playing kill when you don't have any tanks is fine. You just pick it when you have a tank and when you feel like it's a good matchup, that's fine. You don't have to play every champ every game. It's fine to have a champ like that.
Okay, also too, I think it's kind of hard to figure out like what to use against like the enemy team. Like I noticed that a lot of players they choose depending on what the opponent's gonna use. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, people do that, and some people don't do that. There are tons of one tricks, which is just someone who only ever plays one champion. When I played mid lane, so I basically, like the first season that I started playing mid lane, because I've played every role, like to challenger, except for support, I was like grandmaster, but like, anyway. First season I played mid lane, I played Vex and Ziggs, and like a couple other champs. Second season I played mid lane, I only ever played Jace. I got rank 1 Jace, I got challenger, literally only pick Jace unless Jace was banned or picked. So no matter what situation, I would always pick the same champion. Ari is a champion you can pick in every situation. She's never going to be bad. Just like Jace, if you just want a champ you can play every single game, you're never going to struggle, play Ari. If you want another champ that you're never going to struggle with, if you're actually good at Diana, you can play it in every matchup. Like, it's not as easy to play assassins in every matchup, but Diana 100% can be played in every matchup. When you have no tank, go Rod of Ages, Riftmaker, Deathcap, because you're going to be tankier, you're not going to get one shot. And when you have tanks or when you're into squishies, then you go for Luda and Sekko and like, you know, the one-shot build. So that's why the differences in builds are helpful, because when you feel like your team comp is really squishy, you can go for the beefier builds. But in general, for champion pool, you'll figure out based on the matchups that you play what's bad and good. So if you're Ari and you say you just always lose to Zed, which I don't think you should, but like if you do, if you see a Zed and you always lose as Ari, then just don't pick Ari into Zed when you see a Zed. That's all. Like it's pretty straightforward, really.
Nah, that's a champion always ban.
Yeah, you ban Zed. It's probably because you don't know how Zed works. Like Zed is strong, but he's nowhere near bannable. But he's really weird. Like the way he works, like I didn't know he worked for a long time, so I would hate him and I would have no idea how he works. But buying stasis against him is an easy counter, and then understanding Zed's damage is not all from his ultimate. When Zed ults onto you, what he has to do is like, I don't actually know exactly how it works, but I know there's like shadows that will get placed on you and he like does random damage on you. So if he ults you, but then as soon as the ult lands, you flash away right away, it won't actually do that much damage. So, gotcha. But that's kind of not as, that's just a random thing about Zed. You can watch like a video on Zed if you want to see how the champ actually works. So if you struggle into a champ, that's another thing. Watch a video on how they work so that you can understand as well. But
yeah, I feel I watched like Starting All Over and Darkbreaker, Hell's Devil.
Yeah, no, they're all good. Yeah, they're all really good YouTubers to learn from. Well, Starting as a streamer, but yeah, same thing.